Right, so welcome back to the channel. I hope you're having a fantastic day. First things first, this tactic I'm about to show you, I am running over on my Twitch save, which is my GOAT challenge, Pentagon challenge, where we are taking charge of CZ Mighty Lions in the Chinese Super League. I also have examples with Arsenal, which, I mean, you saw the thumbnail. They're actually pretty good with this system. If you'd like to go check out something else that I do the 5 Star Potential podcast, which is a weekly football manager podcast brought to you by the chaps over at 5 Star Potential. Go check it out. So what I find this system is attack-wise, it is just amazing. We find overloads, we find half spaces, we find the AP in midfield is such a key role to it, and I will highlight that to you in a second. But he just seems to find so much space, constantly assists. What that also then does is it frees up the left-hand side. Now, I've purposely done this because in my China save, my left-hand wing-back is better than my right-hand wing-back. So I've put my AP on the right-hand side to let him utilize that space, get those half spaces, find the channels, whereas my left-back will go up and down the channel. You'll probably find those two are your main contributors to your team. I was first introduced to the diamond system back in 2017 when I played my FM 2017 save with Forest Green. We took Forest Green from the bottom to the top using said diamond, pretty much said diamond, with a few instructions and player instructions tweaks. There's a few things I would like you to know before we download the system. I will take you through everything that I know and everything that I want you to know about this system. It's a good one. I really think it's a good one. And it shows it does it at the top level and it does it at the bottom level. And that will be grateful for me because it means it does it properly everywhere in between. So let's jump straight in and I'll show you exactly what I mean. Okay, so welcome to China. We are currently managing CZ Mighty Lions in our Pentagon/GOAT Challenge. The GOAT Challenge is where we start unemployed. We go all the way through to the top of the Hall of Fame via a Pentagon Challenge. You can catch that over on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Dupe. Also, there's a playlist in my Twitch VODs if you'd like to catch up, the season reviews if you'd like to catch up, and also the Dupe Scoop, which is a podcast built on this save where you can just have a 5-minute update. Every time I stream, I'll come out with a 5-minute podcast to keep you updated. Basically, you got no excuse to get involved. Okay, so one thing I will say, as you can see, we're brand new into this job. Didn't know the team very well at the start, but we're top of the league with 7 played, 21 points, and you can see that we have the best goals scored. We also have the 6 worst goals conceded. Now, one thing I will say is China don't have the best defense. They just don't have the best defense. They're not the tallest, and that causes sometimes, especially in this match engine, with the headers, not the best. So a lot of those are from set pieces and the odd penalty. The refereeing isn't great in China either. But what you can see is that we are scoring goals. We are producing very good things. One thing I'll also say, bit of a downside to the system, yellow cards. We are the worst, but it's fine. We've not had a red yet. Not had a red yet. So let's jump into the system and see how we set up. So as you can see, we are set up as a functional diamond. One of my favorite things on this game this year is that back three. Now, yes, we're playing a back 4, but the back 3 for me is the 2 centre-backs on defend, a left footer on the left, the right footer on the right, and that anchor man defend. I think the anchor man this year is just stupendous. I think he's such a good role, very much a man that I can depend on. And we have a good player there. He's not very mobile, but yet he is a very strong, good tackler, and he just mops everything up. And it really does help massively having that anchor man there. As you can see, we've got the 2 fullbacks on attack, even though I said to you, my right's not as good as my left, but yet my right will still attack if it needs to. He'll be able to overlap my AP, and it can also underlap and get into those channels as well. A video I would like to talk to you about, talking about overlaps and underlaps in those positions, is a wide centre-back role. I think that'll be next week. I've got a system that I'm working on with wide centre-backs, and I love wide centre-backs, and I want to tell you more about them. So keep your eyes peeled for that. So make sure you're subscribed, and if you do like this video, feel free to hit that like button. So there's my back 4. My keeper, you're limited to Chinese goalkeepers as well. So that probably doesn't help the fact that we've conceded quite a lot of goals here. So all we ask them to do is when we have the ball, just stay as wide as possible. I just want them to stay as wide as possible, allowing our width to come right back from our fullbacks. We're also asking them to take fewer risks. There's no need for them to take risks, especially in this position and especially in this level of football. just pass it inside. They've got talented players there. It does not need a 50-yard ball from these guys trying to risk a pass. It just doesn't need it. On the right-hand side, again, I've not done anything that special. I'm kind of not encouraging him to get wider or stay now. I just need him to get forward when he can and offer a bit of support, but nothing too much. He is on attack, yes, and potentially, if defensively down the line we're struggling, then potentially we just drop him on support. But for now, I'm enjoying seeing him on attack. He does pop up. He does offer a little bit of an overload with that AP, which we'll talk to you about in a second. And it can, even just having the man there can cause problems. And it is a good little way of showing that. We mentioned about the anchor man. Nothing special here. Just defend. The thing with the anchor man is he is very much sits in the hole between the defense and that midfield. However, what you find with the anchor man over a ball winner, for example, is the anchor man will just sit. He almost sits in the channel of the two defenders. That way, you do find a ball winner will drift, and him drifting could cause space. We don't want that space. I want that little Christmas tree, that little triangle in front. It also gives a little bit of support for the defenders. We like to play out from the back. If you play out from the back and you've got that guy definitely there in front of you, that's very beneficial as well. Just a standard box-to-box support, nothing too crazy. The system is very basic. However, there is quite a few instructions which we will dive into deeper. But yeah, just a box-to-box. Basically, all I need him to do is to shuttle in between. I want him to push forward when we need to push forward and sit back when we need to sit back. Provide that cover if needed, but also help and really push forward if we need him to help with the attacks. One thing I like about the box-to-box midfielder is that in support duty, which is the only way you can play a box-to-box, in his defensive mindset, he'll harry that attack midfielder. A lot of teams play number 10, and he'll really support that anchor man with that as well. This system, we play on attacking mentality, and it is very attack-minded. We have a lot of players on attack mind. We have 6 on attack duty. We have 3 on defend duty, and the rest are on support. It is the case that we need this guy to link up the play. He is so good at just drifting out wide if he needs to without me telling him. I could ask him to stay wider, but no, we don't ask him to roam from positions either. He will find that space because the space is there because there's no one else there. He'll find the hole in between the midfield. He'll find that hole between the defense. He'll get into the channels. He'll go wide if he needs to. And one thing I find is the early cross with him as well is quite nice. Now, it's not a cross as such, but what you'll find is he'll along the ball into the box, and it is a little bit deeper, but yet you find they're just absolute arrows, and it is tremendous. It's lovely to watch. I mean, Hyman's brilliant. We brought him in this year, but 7 played, 3 goals, 8 assists, and 8.36 rated. Let's just say this team finished 4th, 5th bottom last season, so it's not like we've walked into a brilliant team in this league. The next we'll talk about is the shadow striker. I love a shadow striker. If I am playing a number 10, 9 times out of 10, it is a shadow striker. He is so aggressive at getting himself into positions that he could score from. He's also very good at finding other players too. And for me, a shadow striker, when we need him the most, he is the man that will step up. And you'll find that he will score a goal or 2. Very good role. I just love the shadow striker. It basically means I'm playing 3 up top without playing 3 up top. But shh, don't tell anyone. And again, 2 simple advanced forwards up top. Nothing special. Normally, I ask these to run wide, to stay wide, to roam from position, and to shoot less. That's the 4 I normally put on when I'm playing a duo up top with a shadow striker behind. That's what we did at Forest Green, and I've not done it this year because of probably... Well, I think I'm trying to get the width elsewhere. And actually, this year with the match engine, you're seeing that more balls are being put into the box, more goals are being scored by crosses, by longer, deeper passes. So actually, for me, I think they need to be narrower. So, yeah, normally I like to play those PIs because that way the player will drift out wide, the shadow striker will come into that hole. He doesn't need to do that anymore. So it really works well in this system. So that's the system overall. As you can see on the right-hand side here, they're playing very well. It isn't a good team that we're playing, but we have bought very well. Dong Dahi, one of the young strikers, he's not rated very well, but 8 and 8 isn't bad. Brenner, 4 goals in 3. We'll break down the Arsenal in a second, and you can see, but there is goals coming from our AP, goals coming from our shadow striker. but the assists come from the AP, really. Like I said, the AP is such a big role for those assists. Let's go through the team instructions. We are playing a slightly shorter passing, and we're playing higher tempo. We don't need to play long range passing. Everyone's there. We have a spine. Why do we want to play long distance balls? So I like to keep the ball as much as I can, play out of that defense, pass into the space so these players can run into that space. I want to work the ball into the box, and we are going whippage into the final third. Now, I would recommend if you have tall strikers, then put that down as a float, or even mixed, but whipped for me, because we have Brenner, who's 5'9". I'm not going to be trying to get some headers from those boys. So we're trying to whip them across and maybe just get a foot on it to go in. Play for set pieces as well. This year, set pieces are massive, again, for the headers, but also I'm seeing a lot more direct free kicks going in. If you have a relatively good free kick taker, let's play for set pieces. And then an added thing that I've done this year more than any, and actually probably last year as well, was the run at defenses. Never had that on before. Mainly because I always thought that I play with wingers. I don't play with wingers normally. So the fact that they're not wingers or inside forwards, then why would I want them to run at defense? But what I'm finding is it's just an overall balance that anyone that's in that final third will now run at the defense, causing penalties, causing other free kicks. Potentially, like I said, we've had a lot of penalties last year. Was it down to the fact that we run at defenses? Last season in the Indian League, was it because we had run at defensive why we got 17, 18 penalties in something like 21 games or 25 games or whatever it was? I don't know, but to me, I think it's an absolute must this year. Again, this one, we are going to counter press and counter. It's not a massively pressing system, but we still want to try and do what we can do to win the ball back higher up the pitch. We still have that structure in defense if we need it. The anchorman will sit, so I'm pretty happy with that. And we're going to counter again. We have the pace, we have the quick short passing. We will be able to counter easily enough. And this is probably the only one. We're trying to enforce our opponents inside. Okay, the reason we're doing that is we have an anchorman. Let's use him. Let's use him and abuse him. So normally I would focus them to push them out wide, use the touchline, so to speak, as a defender. But here we've got the anchorman. Let's push him inside and let's get that anchorman to do it. So especially at this level, you don't actually see the like really competent inside forwards or inverted wingers. So what you find is that they don't have the ability to cut in really well. So it works quite well for us, to be fair. We have that higher line of engagement. It just gives that midfield four a bit of room to do what they need to do. Let's stretch it out. Standard line of defense. We're not doing anything too clever there. We're just forcing it a little bit higher. It also gives us a good position to then go and try and prevent any goalkeepers from passing out. And we're gonna trigger that press as often as we can. But it's not killing my players. I don't find that we are having to rotate a lot, but we're pressing a lot. It's nothing scary like that. Like I said, that's the system. We do run this over at twitch.tv/Dupe every single day. You can come and check out that save. But let's just jump over to Arsenal. I want to show you what it's done over there. Arsenal are probably a team that a lot of people are going to want to manage this year. And really, I think there's a lot here that works well with the system. You've got the two strikers out and out, Lacazette and Aubameyang, both getting really high amount of goals here. You've also got Smith Rowe in behind, who Smith Rowe is insane. The only probably downside to this is Saka doesn't play as much as you'd want him to do. But yeah, I still think you could integrate him where you need to. You could probably play him as more of an attacking fullback if you need to. He will still get games. Odegaard has that AP role, though. He is stupendous as well. Look at that, a 7.4 average rating. We'll break down. I'm sure he's got a shed ton of assists, which we'll go into. But I haven't really changed the system in any way, shape, or form. And let's see how they performed. So over the course of a season, they did win it. Look, only on goal difference, but they did win it with the best goal difference. 6 games lost, 6 games drawn, and 26 won. Lacazette got 26 goals. Odegaard got 20 assists. Kieran Tierney got 15 assists. That's pretty crazy. Goals-wise, Aubameyang just behind in 20 in 5th place. And that's all she wrote there. Let's break these down. So yeah, top goal scorers. Martinelli also got 15. Smith Rowe got 11. Gabriel got 11. We'll talk about the set pieces in a second. Rob Holding got 10 goals as well. And then the assists, 26 from Odegaard, 17 from Kieran Tierney. Smith Rowe got 11. Tomiyasu got 10. Aubameyang got 10. So it was pretty good. Highest average rating was Gabriel at 7.48, which is, I mean, I think he's very underrated as a centre-back. He's left-footed. I like a left-footed centre-back. They're very rare. A good left-footed centre-back at 6'3", jumping reach of 17, heading of 16. maybe he's the guy you guys need to be signing. So that's it, guys. That's the tactic. If you'd like to download it, you can do down in the link in the description. Alongside that, you'll have the 5-Star Potential podcast, the Dupe Scoop, my Twitch, also all of my other playlists that involve my Twitch VODs, my other tactics. You've got the Total Dupe Ball, which is probably one of my favorite ones and my most famous ones. You also have the Highlight Killer, which is the most underrated tactic out there. Seriously need to check that out if you want to stop losing games at the end, or converting those wins into wins and not dropping into draws. You've also got the Napster, which is just your everyday tactic, which works so well as well. Then you've got a last system there, is the Dupes of the Wheel. It's a free at the back system. Give that one a go too. That's quite nice to watch. That is everything, guys. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to drop a comment down below. Come and say hello to me on Twitch. Let me know how everything's going with the system if you are using it. I always like to know. But yeah, I hope you have a great day. Peace out. Much love. And until next time, goodbye.